Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. Breakfast is sponsored by my family, by Adina, in memory of my mother-in-law, her mother, Freda Lisa Basa Ephraim, the Neshama Shavnaliyah. The Torah learning this morning is dedicated to her memory. The Torah talks about Vasapso. They talk about the rabble-rousers, the gatherers, and they lusted a lust, the Torah says. And they said, we remember remember the fish we ate in Egypt for free, and they ate the watermelons, and they ate the cucumbers, and the onions, and the garlic. They pined for that. So the question is like what always bothered me is, first of all, the Egyptians wouldn't give them straw. They're going to give them sushi, they're going to give them caviar, they're going to give them herring. What do you mean they ate the fish for free? I mean, the Egyptians didn't give anything to the Jews. They were slaves. And if they gave them fish, it probably was rotten fish. So why are they waxing nostalgic about fish and cucumbers? They had the mud. The mud was the best tasting food. It tastes whatever you wanted it to taste like. Why are they complaining like this? Well, what's really going on over here?
Isn't it the Egyptians who are really complaining?
So you're saying that it's the rabble rousers are the Arab, but the Torah says that the Jews also complain. The rabble
they got excited.
They got excited, but still, I mean, they had this fancy fish and they had this steak caviar. What did they have in Egypt? They were slaves. They had rotten food. What's going on over here? They had it for free. I mean, they just didn't give anything for free.
Right.
So, and plus the fact this was the Dar Hadea, this was a knowledgeable generation. They're the ones that were perhaps the greatest generation. The prophecy that they saw, that a handmaiden couldn't on the sea was bigger than the biggest prophet, and the prophet Yechezkel. So what's really going on over here? So the answer, I think, the Mashgiach, the Lamzu Yeshiva, Moshe Rosen explains that what happened over here is that the prophets, when they got prophecy, you had to work for prophecy. The Jews, because God was going to give them the Torah, gave them prophecy without any toil. So when the prophecy ended, in order to get the Torah, they got prophecy. When the prophecy ended, they reverted back to sin. And they really resented the Torah. They wanted to go back to be free in their lives, is to be free, not free from the Egyptians, but free of God. And the Alter of Chelm says that here you see that for a bunch of vegetables, like for bupkis, they were able to stumble. And he says that's how far sin goes. He says when somebody sees a soter that's great, says everybody, all should refrain from wine. Why? From Rabbi Moshe Feinstein, a big tzaddik sees a soter, he has to refrain from wine. But the answer is that sin starts very small. It can affect everybody, and therefore, when you have to go to the root cause and you have to be very careful, even small things can change things. And that's why we have this abstaining from wine, which is the root cause of a lot of the sins. But the Kehilas Yaakov, just I conclude, the Kehilas Yitzchak asked the following questions. Why did God get so angry? They weren't lusting for pork. They weren't lusting. They wanted kosher meat. They said, let's have meat. Let's have other foods. What's really going on over here? So the answer is the Gemara in Yuma says that sometimes manna is called bread, sometimes it's called dough, sometimes it's called grain. Why? Why is it called these three different names? So the answer is if you were a righteous person, it came to you in the form of an actual baked cake. It was bread. You got the delivery direct to your doorstep. If you were a Beinoni, an intermediate, then you got it in the form of dough, you had to cook it. And if you were a Russia, if you were an evil person, you got it in the form of grain that you had to do all the work yourself. Furthermore, if you were a sinner, if you were a tzaddik, it was special delivery right to your doorstep. The moment every morning you open up the door, the moment was right at your doorstep. If you weren't such a great tzaddik, you weren't a sinner, you had to go a little further. If you were in Russia, you were a sinner, you had to go far out to get the man. So this is what they were resenting. If you committed a sin one day, the next day they knew if you sinned or not. If you were in a court case and you want to know if you won the case or not, the next day the one who won, the man was by his house, and the one who lost was further away. So this is what they resent. They wanted to be free of the Torah, the mitzvahs of that lifestyle. They wanted to be free. Now, if they were to say, listen, we want to get rid of it because we don't like the fact that we're a sinner, nobody went along with it. Oh, we want the meat, we want the vegetables. And that's how they incited the masses by that pretext. And that's really what God got so angry. It wasn't that they wanted the meat. They wanted to get rid of the yoke of heaven. They wanted to be free. Not the fish was free, but they wanted to be free of God. And that's why they were punished so severely. Have a wonderful day.